Assalamu alaikum. Hello and welcome to RayAintalks. Today we'll talk about barriers to communication. Barriers. So, what happens when you are unable to get your message across, or people do not understand it in its whole context and entirety? Of course, it's frustrating, and then there are consequences, repercussions that tasks are not completed or the quality you wanted is not achieved. So, to understand that what are the barriers to communication and how to uh, reduce them, cut down on them, and how to improve effective messaging. So, let's start with technological barriers. The phone lines are not working, the mobile coverage is spotty, the internet is down, the courier didn't deliver something, or the app stopped working. All the mobile apps, they are actually communication. Or suddenly there's a maintenance shutdown by WhatsApp. Oh my God, WhatsApp is an oxygen these days. So it goes very difficult. These are some barriers. Of course, there are workarounds. You may have an additional phone line, alternate service provider for other things. That happens. But if your email server is down, or your website is down, cause of concern. So monitor the systems always. There should be a check and monitoring of all the systems which you are using. The other barriers could be physical, your and physiological. Your throat is sore, or you have an ear infection. You can't type because you hurt your arm or hand or something, or you have a back pain. You can't sit long and you know drop the messages, send replies. These are the few things. Then there is another big factor, which is your environment in which you are sitting down or standing, like I am, and communicating. So it could be a lot of cluttered space, files, books, papers, teacups, glasses, all these things. They are barriers to communication. And same cluttered head will also create a barrier to effective communication. So, whenever you are communicating, whoever you are communicating with, whatever channel or media you are using, make sure your physical space and your mind is organized and ready for the task. Then comes cultural barriers and language barriers. Even if we are speaking the same language, we live in the same country. I'll give you an example, my example. For 3.5 years, I lived in Islamabad. I was working for a company. This was my first, not a travel, but living in Islamabad. I've been traveling to all over the country, but living in Islamabad and going through that cultural change and facing some barriers. Even generally, everybody was speaking the same language, but their choice of words, their delivery, their accent, my accent. I'm from Karachi. I have a different accent. I have a different cultural understanding of things. For example, if you ask someone in Islamabad, how far is X place from Blue area, for example. So in Karachi, if somebody asks me, I'll say it takes 10 minutes, 30 minutes. But in Islamabad, they'll tell you the distance in kilometers, this much kilometers. So you see, this is a cultural difference. Now you have to ask them how much time it will take. And then this is a cultural shock to them that I don't understand the kilometers or what. So these are the differences. They call roundabout on the roads Gol Chakkar. The main roads are double roads. So initially it was difficult for me, but we all adjusted. Yes, we worked together and we had a good team. So, and then again, In context of generally the language barriers, you may not be able to speak French or other languages internationally. English is a common language, so still if you use jargons which you use internally, or maybe local jargons, and you're trying to communicate with a customer or a partner uh, internationally, those jargons should be avoided. Then you have selective sort of listening, bias, prejudice, discrimination, that you know do not pay attention to what is being said, and then you respond in a very offhand manner. Yeah, okay, fine, do it, don't do it, things like that. These are barriers to communication. Then, as a leader or a manager or even a team member, if you are to work in a teams and there's a task to be delivered, a project to be completed, the barriers should be removed. Think before you communicate, especially with a set of people, be it your team or other teams. Organize your thoughts. Otherwise, you will not be able to communicate properly the whole task requirement, the project essentials, and result will be not the one you want. And our goal of communication is to achieve the results we want. And at times it could be a yes, and at times you want to hear the no. So these are the things which may create barriers. So there could be physical, physiological, psychological. It's in your head, you don't like that person, you have a bias about certain topic or a product or a person. And it could be the technological barriers, the cultural barriers. These are the few barriers. It's easy to remove those barriers, especially the physical ones, the clutter, being unorganized. And then you can also remove other barriers by practicing, by observing people, how they communicate, and develop a midway, adopt a midway to communicate with them. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.